Well, hello, day 7. I've got some road noise, so listen up. This will be a good one. This one is going to have some opinion along with some thanks. And we're going to throw some opinion in here today. Today, I'm thankful for, we're on day 7 of our days of Thanksgiving. We're going to see how many days we go. And encouraged by the response that I've received by many people that are watching. Some receive this video directly by text message. Others receive it in a private app that we have called Band. Others receive an upload and receive it through YouTube and watch there. Some receive it through WhatsApp. I'm excited about the different people who have been watching and it being an encouragement to them. And of course, this has happened in years past as well, and that's awesome. Right before I put the video on, I received a text message. There's a text message from a politician. I don't recall his name. At the moment, I was doing 10 things at the same time. I believe the last name was Patton. Anyway, he was running a poll. Do you agree in the U.S. sending military troops and humanitarian aid, I believe it said to Israel in the fight with Hamas? The poll simply said yes and no, basically. They had very little options. And then, of course, you enter your name and your email. In the name, I entered U.S. hostages. Send military now. Think about that. Now, what I'm thankful for today, and I'll just go ahead and give it to you now so you don't get buried in my opinion and in politics, because I don't intend to get in politics. But my opinion is going to be polarizing here in just a moment. What I'm thankful for is the U.S. military. I'm thankful for the men and women that give of themselves to serve the nation and thereby serve the citizens by giving their life many times, their bodies, their time, their energy for many years. Those that survive and are not buried, those that survive and have not lost limbs, those that survive and do not have a permanent damage from chemical to psychological, those that survive and seem somewhat unscarred, still even they struggle in re-entering society. And many of them carry all their lives questions of morality and just godly questions in what I did during my service. Was it right? Was it wrong? How do I go through life living with some of the things I was asked to do and that I did? And they struggle with that, honestly, they do. So I want to say right from the outset that the real topic here of thanks is thank you for the men and women that serve in the military for our nation. Now, my soapbox. I don't care if there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 15, or 1 U.S. citizen that is held hostage by Hamas. Stop the polls. Stop the questions. Stop the interviews. You gather your tails together in Congress. You declare war if necessary. You go get your citizens back. My dad served in the Vietnam War. He served 2 tours. He doesn't talk about it much. In fact, I find it hard to remember any detail that he's ever spoken. He's honestly not spoken of it at all, if at all. I've got a dear friend that builds beautiful canoes and paddles, Philip Green. He served on submarines. We've got a dear friend, Brother Michael Storr, served on submarines. Dear friend, Mark Harris, served in the Army. I believe as a medic at one point. If not, I couldn't verify it the whole time. And then I believe he even served for a time with the Marines. Dwayne Crane, a pastor. I might be wrong. I believe he was Air Force, but it might have been Army. Forgive me if I've gotten that wrong. What'd you say, Thomas?
Brother.
Yes. My brother in the Marines, my nephew, Dylan, Hunter, there's Becky Gomez. Sister Naomi Scott has a granddaughter that's still serving, I believe. I don't know anybody in the United States that doesn't have a connection to someone serving in the military. And so it's a hurtful thought, the idea of war at all. I get it. But I was also brought up with my dad understanding that there was respect in the world for the United States. And we could argue because of politics that respect has left the room. But the philosophy and the idea was that if you were an American citizen and you were in another country, let's say India, and a train is being robbed, they're coming down the aisle and they're asking, and they're pointing a gun at you, and they find out that you're not Indian, they ask who you are, and you're a U.S. citizen. Whoa, 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 whoa. They skip over you, or they take you to the side and keep you out of. They do not mess with the United States. The concept has been, in the past, the United States will stand on its heels and come after you if you hurt or attack even one U.S. citizen. Now, we have had some situations throughout history, some in fairly recent history, Jimmy Carter's era and others, where there have been various hostages at different times. They've tried to deal with things politically, and now we're down the road where people have leaned more towards politics, and we don't want to hurt anybody. I take you back to this. You have a family member, a U.S. citizen, being held hostage by terrorists right now. I wrote that, politician, stop sending polls. Send the military now. I'm not talking about military troops with bottled water. You get your tails in there and do business. I know it's a difficult situation because you have another country, Israel, Israeli citizens. You have many other countries that are represented in the hostages. But when it comes home and it's your people, stop taking polls, stop talking about it, stop holding news conferences. Get in there. Regarding the Palestinians, the people separate from Hamas, I want you to know that I do not believe that all Palestinians are bad, that have ill intent and do not want peace. I don't believe that one bit. But I believe that the government that's in play right now, Hamas, has every intent to do what they did as often as they can until they're stopped. You have people that have argued with Ben Shapiro and everybody else. This is more like two walls, and you have a family at one wall and a family at another wall, and you got a little 4-foot border between, and you don't get along. But that's where you live. One of you is not prone to pick up a gun and shoot the other, but the other has an adult that says, "Give me that child, stick it in front of me," pulls out a gun and starts shooting across at the other family. Now, does the other family say, "For the sake of that child, we're not going to fire back"? Or does that other family say, "We have to fire back, but do our best to hit the adult that's standing there holding the child"? Yes, that's the answer. Now again, I believe that Palestinians proper include tens of thousands of people that would prefer peace. If they want peace that bad, they need to stand on their high heels and take over Hamas, for one. But let's push that aside. We have to bring it to point right here. We're not dealing in a moment in time where there's just an attack by Hamas, just an attack on Israel by Hamas, where we're then weighing Israel's actions. We have attack on Israel and other nations by Hamas. And then let's dial it into absolute center for the United States. You have hostages. You pull your boats up to the coast, you drop your troops off, they know what to do. It will not be easy. Urban warfare is not easy. And civilian casualties, you don't want them. But you get your people back. And anyone, any country that wants to stand against the United States in getting one person back, land your ships on their shores. All right, now let's take it home to the United States. We have an immigration problem in the United States. The immigration problem is that we have an immigration policy, as every nation does. Every kingdom, every world group has had a policy of who's their citizen, who's not, who can be entered in and who cannot, where the perimeter is. We have illegal persons, not illegal citizens. We have illegal persons, not illegal immigrants. Immigrants tries to soften the term and tell you that they came here for a reason, leaving something worse. Doesn't matter how they came illegal. Stop sugarcoating it. If I were president, let me tell you how I would handle the border. There's some people that won't like it. I told you there's going to be some shakeup in this one. Take the entire southern border. You take the entire northern border. Everything of land, everything of water. You draw an internal perimeter 10 miles. Now, you have the national border, you have a 10-mile internal perimeter. That means anyone that owns personal property in any towns within that region have to go. Executive order, period. All property within the national border and the 10-mile radius of the northern and southern borders shall be deeded 100% to the United States Military Joint Command for proving grounds. Now, anyone in the military might understand what I just said. I wasn't in the military. I grew up a military kid. But I know what proving grounds are. You know what proving grounds are? They're that strip of land you better not be crossing. For joint exercises, military proving grounds. That does several things. That puts it squarely on the U.S. military to be there as much as they want. Running the length of the southern border, dropping bombs, testing. That's U.S. proving grounds, by the way. Dropping bombs, doing tank exercises, everything. You set up a perimeter of proving grounds, and I don't think you're going to have them crawling over the fence, and I don't think you're going to have them digging tunnels. You'll have them knocking politely on the front door and saying, "Please, can I come in? What paperwork do I need to fill out?" Again, 10-mile wide U.S. proving grounds is what I would do. All right. You heard my rant. You heard my politics. You heard my position on things. How would I be if I didn't feel that way about my home? A protective perimeter of locks and controls. And if one of my family were taken, how would I feel? Folks, stop sending polls. Palestinians, I invite you to stand against Hamas and Hezbollah, to stop it and get those hostages back, and to never, ever, ever do it again. But they're not going to do that unless they've learned a lesson. Either you teach them that lesson or someone else will, and unfortunately that's what's playing out right now. I say the United States needs to step in there. Fact of the matter is, when Trump was in power, we dropped a bomb called MOAB, Mother of All Bombs. First time it ever been dropped. The world took notice. It creates such an impact in depth, destroying tunnels and people. Palestinians, you need to take over your people. Take over Hamas. If you want peace, operate as peace. Right now, we've got a terrorist group that's taking hostages, and they will continue doing so. Mother of all bombs, about 10 of them down Gaza Strip, would not be fun. There'd be a massive collateral damage. Even the hostages might not make it out. Hamas won't make it out. All right, again, I'm thankful that I'm not a politician. I'm thankful that I'm not in charge of these things. How's that? But I am very much thankful for the U.S. military. They're asked to do unbelievable things. And many times, let me give you this as well, many times their hands are tied. They're asked to do things with restrictions, or they're asked to pull out when they need to stay in militarily. Politics often play a role in handicapping the military from doing what they can do and do best. The United States military. I'm thankful for the United States military. I'm thankful that I'm not one of the people making decisions right now. You might not like my decisions. I know one thing. If I had an option to rope up the politicians in a corner and set the military loose to bring back those hostages, I'd do it. Let the military make their decision. Now, if they decide they want to take weeks to make a move, or if they decide they're going to move within seconds, it is from that moment their decision. Politics has to be pulled out. That's a challenge. I'm thankful for the military, thankful for those that serve, thankful for those that have to make the difficult decisions, thankful for those that end up in the middle in trying to make those decisions between the political leadership and the military leadership. I'm thankful that God created and established kings and presidents and leadership. He put people in charge. And I'm thankful that He did that for our own good so that we have local justice and local laws and rules. Stay safe. God bless you. Thankful for the military.